As always, welcome back to the channel. Therefore, wherever you are in this vast world, I hope you are all enjoying your day. What did I just say in a video yesterday? We're going to discuss XRP. It seems like 2022 all over again. Every day, the number of Ripple rails, XRP rails, increases. Anados is the source of this. In order to improve our forthcoming financial super app, we are pleased to collaborate with Archway Finance to introduce regulated Amica-compliant payment rails on the XRP ledger. To demonstrate the fiat connection, Anados will use Archway's safe EUR, GBP, and USD rails with immediate RLUSD settlement. Anados allows users to deposit USD, EUR, and GBP directly, tying traditional finance to our on-chain environment. There will shortly be two rapid settlements with Euro and RLUSD. Using RLUSD and Euro to provide effective pay-ins and payouts, Archway's rails promptly settle withdrawals for local bank transfers, payroll taxes, and vendor invoicing. Anados will tap three regulatory alignments. The base program at Archways is pursuing CASP accreditation, guaranteeing complete on-ramp and off-ramp connectivity and MiCA compliance. It's RLUSD at the moment, but they'll also use XRP in the future. Today, these rails are occurring daily, spreading out and developing globally. The recurrence of this is absurd. You saw such announcements every day back in 2022. Ripple continued to install train after train while everyone was preoccupied with FTX, and the excitement surrounding the XRP ETF is genuine. Listen to this out.
I would have thought Solana would do pretty well, but we have Solana futures products that could be a decent indicator, and we have the Solana product now that has staking. And ironically,
how are they doing?
Pretty good, actually. But ironically enough, there's also leverage futures XRP and XRP products. They actually launched after the Solana products and had even more interest. So there's a lot of interest there. Is it going to be the level of interest that the Bitcoin ETF launch had? Absolutely not. Like anyone who thinks like, oh, Bitcoin ETFs took in 40 billion, my XRP ETF is going to take in the same amount or whatever. That's just not how this is going to work. These are longer tail assets. I think there will be demand. There will probably be multiple products for each of these assets to do well. Maybe not all 10 of the ones I listed, but a decent amount of them.
XRP ETFs are still not expected to beat Bitcoin ETFs, according to Bloomberg. They still just see Bitcoin, I'm telling you. But XRP is going to be a surprise. I continue to believe that XRP ETFs will perform better than Bitcoin ETFs. They are already looking beyond Bitcoin, and the money is already moving away from it. What do you suppose they're searching for? What do you think will happen when the remaining Solana ETFs launch if XRP continues to outperform them? According to an attorney, the XRP Army had an impact on the SEC's case against Ripple. For this reason, Johnny Deaton thinks that the organization known as the XRP Army had an impact on the SEC's case against Ripple. A judge ruled in a split decision in 2023 that selling XRP on public exchanges did not contravene securities regulations. This August, all appeals were dismissed, ending the judicial drama. According to Deaton, the judge partially ruled in favor of Ripple because of the thousands of affidavits that were filed with the court. The difference was ours. That difference was the XRP Army. We now have legal certainty for XRP, but Ripple has endured the worst of it to get to this point. That will never change. And you can see why Ethereum was shut down in L1 rather than L2 by Hugo Fillion. According to Flair's Hugo Fillion, the idea of L2s and sidechains has always been ridiculous. Anything that gains enough popularity or utility will inevitably turn into an L1, as that is where the value lies. The Ethereum roadmap is dead in its entirety. In fact, it was dead when it arrived. A sucker, or worse, is somebody attempting to rehash L2 sidechains. Ethereum is constantly revising its roadmap, but it also causes inflation. It doesn't actually assist Ethereum at all every time they conduct an upgrade, and we have no idea how much Ethereum there will be in the end. It doesn't improve its position in the new financial system, and it's only a matter of time until the majority of utility-driven cryptocurrencies overtake Ethereum. And listen to this video. Hendrik Zembergis, the chief macro analyst at Swissblock, discussed bubbles and potential future developments with Black Swan Capitalist. Listen to this out.
When it does happen.
Let's try to see if we can get the XRP first. Well, It looks pretty bullish to me right now, I have to say. But again, targets. I mean, it's difficult to say. It's I wouldn't be 3-4 times from here, no problem. I could see that easily. But again, I haven't actually gone into greater depth of actually analyzing. But it seems like I should analyze the XRP a little more if I listen to you guys. How big of a crash is it gonna be? Well, when you have the largest market bubble in the world, looking at market capitalization to GDP, and you're looking at all measures, especially if you cross them, you'll see that it is by far the biggest one. And you have the speculation. I think you'll see that a 9 trillion market of crypto, where Bitcoin takes up 1/3 of that, or a little more maybe. You will see that Bitcoin will probably, I mean, I dare to say it. I think Bitcoin is going to crash to at least around 4,000. I think 4 to 16,000 as I'm going to see.
Wow.
And I think that is based on the tech setup that we have. And honestly, it's quite from a technical perspective. It's almost it sounds weird to say clear, but it's 16,000. Yes, 100%. I think we'll go down there, and nobody really sees that. And if you have that,
therefore, he believes that Bitcoin will plummet to $16,000. Given what is going on in the world right now, that may very well happen. A new financial system will replace the one we currently have. Bitcoin will lose its significance at that point. People are still unaware of that. When Bitcoin starts to drop, I believe people will start to see that it's not just up, and it's not a great store of value either. At the moment, they're all stating the same thing because they're all repeating Michael Saylor and the headlines from the mainstream media. A prominent investor explains his personal strategy for using XRP to earn $1 million. Every single investor in XRP, in my opinion, aspires to reach $1 million. Austin Hilton, a seasoned cryptocurrency investor, has shared his particular strategy for making $1 million off of his XRP holdings. He stated that his primary strategy is to purchase and keep XRP over time. He stated that he has been gradually building up his holdings in XRP and intends to keep onto them until the asset's value at least triples from its current levels. That corresponds to an XRP price objective of about $80 to $90, which he thinks Hilton can eventually reach. His profit plan is based on patience and long-term vision. He stated, "I don't really care how long it takes, but I think XRP will go beyond that. I'm going to hold out whether it takes a year, 2, 3, 4, or 5. This is in line with other XRP commenters' viewpoints, which advise investors to buy 10,000 tokens and wait for the coin to reach the triple-digit range so that portfolios can grow to million-dollar levels. He talks about accumulating XRP regardless of the current price, but I'm telling you now, given the way things are moving, 1,000 XRP will probably be worth $1 million in the next 2 years. Because he is aware that there is still a long way to go. And I have been telling you that the price of XRP at the moment is really low. If he is waiting for XRP to reach $80 or $90, he will probably see that during this run. We should expect a 3-digit XRP in the upcoming months, if all the chart analysts and those examining all the catalysts are correct. Let's hope that this occurs and the anti-XRP movement continues. I had no idea that a digital assets classification as a security was still based on the decentralization test. I assumed it was merely a lecture, but this man continues by discussing how all assets, save Bitcoin, are securities. Are we still at that stage of the crypto game? You know? Are the tales from 2017, 2018, and 2019 still being promoted? Since we now know that XRP is not a security, that is the extent to which these stories have persisted. According to a judge, it is not a security. Since we now have legal certainty, it isn't a security today and won't be one tomorrow or at any point in the future. But these individuals must spread that myth to discourage people from investing in XRP. Why? Because this is absurd, and they're scared of XRP. You see, Jerome Powell, this is the reason why everyone finally understands Bitcoin. Because of its extreme volatility, Bitcoin isn't a very good store of value. That was before 2024. After that year, it is comparable to gold, albeit virtual gold. It is a rival to gold. Donald Trump became optimistic about Bitcoin. Think, Larry. Here's the issue with thinking that this is the story. Jamie Dimon, Mark Cuban, and Michael Saylor. In other words, they discovered a method to profit from Bitcoin by using ETFs. They discovered a way to control Bitcoin as well, which allowed them to keep profiting from it. However, when a new financial system is established and they no longer require Bitcoin, all of these narratives will eventually change back to their original positions in an effort to de-emphasize the cryptocurrency. Observe how quickly they end up changing the story. The same folks who are stacking in the background while claiming that Bitcoin is a complete failure are the ones you never pay attention to after stacking it. They abruptly change the subject, cause Bitcoin to pump, and then pay out a portion of that Bitcoin. Repeat after rinsing. It has been observed on several occasions in the shadows of crypto DOJ indictments. A $340 million cryptocurrency Ponzi has accused Kevin Spacey, a co-writer of the movie. Now, there wouldn't be any discussion about this if this guy were stealing people's money and doing nothing with it, making no movie and simply taking it. However, because he used cryptocurrency, this makes headlines because there are many people out there, and even though the US has a pro-crypto administration and SEC, and that innovation is advancing in the country, they still want to spread the myth that crypto is bad. This explains the prevalence of these headlines in the news media.
Phil Quack claims that there wouldn't be any discussion about it if they were using cash.
Bitcoin currency is no longer a store of value, and a perfect storm is on the horizon. Take a look at how insane inflation has gotten for cryptocurrencies, which are now a real substitute for fiat money and have a limited quantity. Imagine what will occur after individuals become aware of these two basic facts. What do you know has a limited supply? Some individuals still maintain that there won't be a shortage of XRP. You know, it will never be rare since there are 100 billion XRP, which is too many. They are unaware that XRP will continue to be restricted by these nations and businesses, and that it will become scarce. Massive demand will also be there at the same time, and it is this desire, rather than past cycles or supply and demand in the market cap, that will ultimately determine the price. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thanks to all. The next one will see you.